Sports can sometimes lead to awkward situations. Track and field athletes have had embarrassing wardrobe failures, like shorts ripping during a race or uniforms causing problems. These incidents prove that even the best can face fashion failure. Starting with Slovenian pole vaulter Jerneja Writzl, she found herself in an even more uncomfortable situation. During a pole vault event, Writzl accidentally exposed herself due to the tightness of her sports knickers. Unaware of the situation, she continued her routine, which was being broadcast live on television. The tight clothing caused a camel toe effect, unfortunately becoming the center of attention. Despite the embarrassing situation, Writzl remained professional and continued with her event. She successfully made her jump even as her wardrobe malfunction attracted unwanted attention. As she lined up to take her run-up, her privates were barely covered, leading to some inappropriate comments from online viewers. One commenter even remarked that they never knew they liked pole vaulting so much and would tune in more often, showing the inappropriate reactions that followed. Writzl's impressive performance on the field didn't go unnoticed, but it was quickly overshadowed by the realization of what had happened. After completing her jump, she became aware of why the crowd had been gawking at her. In a moment of discomfort, she tried to adjust her knickers as the cameras continued to focus on her. The incident didn't just end there. A clip of the event was uploaded to YouTube and has since gathered millions of views, turning an already embarrassing moment into a viral sensation. Although Writzl's experience was humiliating, it's important to note that many other athletes have faced similar, if not worse, situations. Moving towards the Colombian women's cycling team, they experienced an unfortunate incident back in 2014. Though the event happened years ago, it continues to circulate online. The team's performance on the field was admirable, but their uniforms caused a major stir. The outfits, which included a flesh-colored strip across the lower torso and upper legs, gave the impression that the women were almost naked. This design mistake overshadowed their efforts and became one of the most talked about failures in sports uniform history. The internet was more focused on criticizing the uniforms than on recognizing the women's performance. The event was meant to honor a former Italian champion, Michela Fanini, who tragically died in a car crash in 1994, but instead it turned into a viral moment for all the wrong reasons. Social media users were quick to mock the uniforms, with some suggesting that they must have been a terrible prank. One Twitter user noted that despite not being a fashion expert, they could easily see the uniform was a disaster. The unfortunate incident with the Colombian team is just one example of how athletes can be embarrassed by their attire. Now let's talk about Christian Blumenfeld, a Norwegian triathlete who faced an unexpected situation after winning the men's Olympic triathlon in Tokyo. Despite his years of hard training and securing a victory on the world's biggest stage, attention quickly shifted from his achievement to something else: his attire. The outfit he wore was nearly transparent in the crotch area, making his victory memorable for all the wrong reasons. The designers intended to create an outfit that would help Blumenfeld cope with Tokyo's intense heat, prioritizing comfort. However, they overlooked a crucial aspect, ensuring the clothing provided adequate coverage. As a result, Blumenfeld's private parts became visible, sparking widespread attention and concern. It didn't take long for social media users to react, with one Twitter user commenting on how frustrated they would be if they had to compete in such revealing attire. The user expressed disbelief that a country would allow an athlete to compete in such an outfit, especially in an event as prestigious as the Olympics. Blumenfeld, however, seemed unaware of the wardrobe malfunction as he crossed the finish line first, clocking a time of 1 hour and 45 minutes. His focus on the race was evident as he managed to stay ahead of the silver medalist by just 11 seconds. Despite the wardrobe mishap, Blumenfeld's performance was remarkable, and he didn't let the incident distract him from his goal. But Blumenfeld's case isn't unique when it comes to athletes dealing with wardrobe malfunctions. Yosef Urban, a marathon runner, experienced an even more shocking incident during the final stretch of the Košice Peace Marathon. As Urban neared the finish line, his shorts split, fully exposing his private parts on live television. This was undoubtedly the last thing Urban needed after pushing through the late race fatigue. However, instead of stopping to cover himself, Urban continued running, finishing the marathon with his privates on display. Spectators, surprisingly, seemed more entertained than shocked, cheering Urban on as he sprinted toward the finish line. Despite the embarrassing situation, Urban kept his composure and finished the race in 10th place. Remarkably, he also achieved a personal best, shaving 27 seconds off his previous record. This achievement shows that Urban didn't let the wardrobe malfunction derail his focus, and he continued to push forward, determined to finish strong. It remains unclear whether Urban was aware of the extent of his exposure during the race. Regardless, his action suggested he was casual by the situation. He even high-fived a fan near the end of the marathon, indicating his determination to finish the race without letting this issue affect him. Next, there is Alberto Nonino, an 18-year-old athlete who faced an unfortunate situation during the Under-20 World Championships. Nonino was leading the race when suddenly his private slipped out of his shorts. This unexpected wardrobe malfunction caused him to drop from first place to last, finishing the 400-meter race in 51 seconds. The young Italian was understandably upset, as no one could have imagined that a moment like this would derail his performance. As he ran, Nonino tried his best to keep going despite the mishap. Initially, fans were puzzled when they saw him reaching for his crotch instead of focusing on his running form. It soon became clear that he was desperately trying to cover himself as he ran, which made it impossible for him to maintain his lead. The incident was embarrassing, but Nonino later addressed it on Instagram. He explained that the exposure was completely accidental and urged people to stop sharing the video. Though he admitted feeling terrible at the time, Nonino now looks back on the event with a sense of humor thanks to the support of his family and friends. Nonino's experience isn't an isolated case of wardrobe malfunctions affecting athletes during competitions. Eliud Kipchoge, a Kenyan marathon runner, experienced a similar setback during the Berlin Marathon. Kipchoge was on track to break the world record, but his shoes let him down. Despite winning the race in 2 hours and 4 minutes, he missed the world record by just a minute, largely due to issues with his footwear. Throughout the second half of the race, Kipchoge struggled with his insoles, which kept slipping out of his shoes. The problem started early in the race, which was surprising given that Kipchoge had tested the Nike shoes in Kenya and found them to be reliable. Even though this malfunction cost him a potential world record, Kipchoge remained calm and composed. Rather than blaming Nike, he shrugged off the incident, saying it just wasn't meant to be. At last, let's take a look at Haitian athlete Jeffrey Jolmis showed true Olympic spirit when he got back up after tripping over the first hurdle in the men's 110 meter at the 2016 Rio Olympics. The 59-second video of this memorable fail quickly went viral, getting thousands of retweets on Twitter, millions of views on YouTube, and over 100,000 comments on Reddit. People couldn't stop watching, and many praised his determination. In the clip, Jeffrey, who was born in the US but represents Haiti, smirks at the camera and gestures at his watch, suggesting he'll finish fast. Then he takes a leap and his face shows a mix of disappointment and embarrassment when he realizes he can't win. Even though he was about to be disqualified, Jeffrey knew this moment would be remembered in Olympic history. Nonetheless, he got up and completed the race, finishing in just over 25 seconds, 13 seconds behind the winner, Orlando Ortega from Spain. Although he was disqualified, his effort was widely appreciated. That's all for this video.